Illinois is a semi-landlocked state in the Midwestern United States. It is connected to the Atlantic Ocean via the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence Seaway. Illinois borders Wisconsin to the north, Michigan via a water boundary in Lake Michigan to the northeast, Indiana to the east, and Kentucky to the southeast. The Mississippi River forms a natural border with Missouri and Iowa to the west. The state's nickname is the Prairie State. Its landscape is characterized by vast, fertile plains that form the backbone of its agricultural economy. Illinois' strategic location provides crucial access to two major water systems, the Great Lakes via Lake Michigan to the northeast, and the Mississippi River system along its western border. Illinois is a constituent state of the United States of America. It stretches southward 385 miles, 620 kilometers, from the Wisconsin border in the north to Cairo in the south. In addition to Wisconsin, the state borders Lake Michigan to the northeast, Indiana to the east, Kentucky to the southeast, Missouri to the west, and Iowa to the northwest. Illinois was admitted as the 21st member of the Union on December 3, 1818. The capital of Illinois is Springfield. The capital of Illinois is Springfield. Springfield is located along the Sangamon River in the central part of Illinois, roughly 100 miles northeast of St. Louis, Missouri, and about 185 miles southwest of Chicago. Springfield became the state capital in 1837, and government offices were moved there from Vandalia by 1839. Abraham Lincoln lived in Springfield from 1837 to 1861, before becoming president. Illinois is known for Chicago, its largest city and the third most populous in the United States. Chicago is a major transportation hub with extensive freight and passenger rail networks. The city boasts two major airports, including O'Hare International, one of the busiest in the country. Chicago's architecture is world-renowned, featuring innovative designs and towering skyscrapers. The city also serves as a cultural center, offering a wide array of museums and premier musical organizations. Illinois became a state on December 3, 1818. The first Europeans to visit Illinois were French explorers Louis Joliet and Jacques Marquette in 1673. France ceded the land east of the Mississippi to Britain after the French and Indian War in the 1760s. American forces captured Kaskaskia, the British seat of government, making Illinois a county of Virginia in 1778 during the American Revolution. Illinois was made part of the Indiana Territory on July 4, 1800. In 1809, the Illinois Territory was formed by dividing the Indiana Territory. Illinois has a diversified economy with strengths in manufacturing, agriculture, finance, mining, transportation, government, technology, and services, including tourism. It ranks high among states in the manufacture of food products, chemicals, fabricated metals, computer and electronic products, and rubber products, and in the number of printing and publishing establishments. Illinois is a national transportation hub with extensive freight and passenger rail networks. The state is also a major insurance center and home to the Chicago Stock Exchange and the Chicago Board of Trade. Illinois' rich soil supports significant soybean and corn production, as well as pork, dairy, grains, and livestock. Illinois significantly shapes the culture and economy of the United States. Its diverse economy, featuring strengths in manufacturing, agriculture, finance, and technology, mirrors the national economy, providing stability and economic diversity. Culturally, Chicago has been a hub for artistic innovation, especially in literature, theater, and music. Chicago arts. The city's literature reflects urban life and social struggles, while its theater scene is known for experimentation and famous performers. Chicago's blues and jazz legacy, along with gospel music, have had a dynamic impact on American music. Chicago arts. Moreover, Illinois is a leading agricultural state, particularly in soybean and corn production. Illinois agriculture. The state's rich soil and family-owned farms contribute significantly to the nation's agricultural output. Illinois agriculture. Illinois is a state in the Midwestern region of the United States, positioned in a central geographic location that has made it one of the most important crossroads in North America. It sits between Wisconsin to the north, Indiana to the east, Missouri to the west, and Iowa to the northwest, while Kentucky lies to the southeast across the Ohio River. To the northeast, Illinois touches Lake Michigan, one of the 5 Great Lakes, giving it access to one of the largest freshwater systems on Earth and linking it to international trade routes through the St. Lawrence Seaway. This combination of inland rivers, fertile plains, and Great Lakes shoreline has shaped Illinois into a region defined by movement, agriculture, industry, and cultural exchange. The physical landscape of Illinois is dominated by flat to gently rolling terrain, particularly in the central and northern regions. This topography is the result of repeated glacial advances and retreats during the last ice age, which left behind thick deposits of rich soil and shaped the drainage patterns of rivers and wetlands. The result is some of the most fertile agricultural land in the United States. Much of the state is part of the vast interior plains, historically covered by tall grass prairie ecosystems that supported diverse plant and animal life. Today, only small fragments of those original prairies remain, preserved in protected areas, but their influence is still felt in the state's agricultural productivity and ecological history. Water has always been central to Illinois' geography and development. The Mississippi River forms the entire western border of the state, serving as one of North America's most important transportation and trade corridors. For centuries, it has carried goods, people, and cultural influences from the northern interior of the continent down to the Gulf of Mexico. The Ohio River forms part of the southern boundary, further connecting Illinois to the broader river systems of the eastern United States. Running through the interior of the state is the Illinois River, which links the Great Lakes region to the Mississippi River basin, effectively connecting 2 of the most significant waterways on the continent. This natural network of rivers made Illinois a strategic transportation hub long before modern infrastructure existed. Lake Michigan, located on the northeastern edge of the state, adds another crucial dimension to Illinois' geography. It moderates the climate of nearby regions, particularly Chicago and surrounding areas, resulting in slightly cooler summers and milder winters compared to inland parts of the state. It also provides drinking water for millions of residents, supports commercial shipping, and offers recreational opportunities along its shoreline. The lake has been central to the rise of Chicago as a global city, enabling it to grow into one of the most important urban centers in the United States. Long before European arrival, Illinois was home to diverse indigenous peoples who built complex societies across its rivers and plains. Among the most significant were the peoples associated with the Mississippian culture, who constructed large earthen mounds, developed extensive trade networks, and established permanent settlements. One of the most remarkable archaeological sites in North America, Cahokia, located near present-day Collinsville, was once a massive urban center with a population that may have rivaled some European cities of its time. These indigenous civilizations demonstrated advanced knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, and urban planning, and their legacy remains a foundational part of Illinois' deep history. European exploration of the region began in the 17th century with French explorers such as Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet, who traveled through the Great Lakes and down the Mississippi River system. They mapped the region and established early relationships with indigenous communities, incorporating Illinois into the broader French colonial territory known as New France. After the French and Indian War in the mid-18th century, control of the region shifted to the British, and later, following the American Revolution, it became part of the newly formed United States. American settlement expanded rapidly in the early 19th century, driven by migration westward and the promise of fertile farmland. Illinois became the 21st state of the United States in 1818. At that time, it was still largely frontier territory, but its population grew quickly due to agriculture, trade, and transportation development. Early settlers took advantage of the rich prairie soils, clearing land for corn, wheat, and livestock production. Agriculture quickly became the backbone of the state's economy, a role it continues to play today. Transportation infrastructure played a crucial role in Illinois' early development. The construction of canals, most notably the Illinois and Michigan Canal, connected Lake Michigan to the Illinois River, creating a continuous water route between the Great Lakes and the Mississippi River. This innovation dramatically increased trade efficiency and positioned Illinois as a critical link in national commerce. As railroads expanded in the mid-19th century, Illinois became one of the most important railroad hubs in the United States, with Chicago emerging as the central nexus of rail transportation. Chicago's rise was one of the most dramatic urban transformations in American history. Located on the southwestern shore of Lake Michigan, the city was strategically positioned at the intersection of waterways, railroads, and expanding national markets. It grew rapidly in the 19th century, attracting industries such as meatpacking, steel production, manufacturing, and later finance and services. The city's stockyards became famous worldwide, processing livestock shipped from across the Great Plains. This industrial power turned Chicago into one of the largest cities in the United States and a symbol of modern urban growth. However, rapid industrialization also brought challenges. Poor working conditions, overcrowding, and economic inequality led to labor unrest and the rise of organized labor movements. Chicago became a focal point for labor activism in the United States. One of the most significant events in labor history, the Haymarket Affair of 1886, occurred in the city during a labor protest that turned violent and had lasting consequences for workers' rights movements worldwide. These struggles highlighted the tensions between industrial expansion and social justice, themes that continued to shape Illinois' development. Immigration played a central role in shaping Illinois' identity during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Large numbers of immigrants from Ireland, Germany, Italy, Poland, Sweden, and other European countries settled in Chicago and surrounding areas. They provided essential labor for factories, railroads, and construction projects, while also building distinct cultural communities. These immigrant populations established neighborhoods, religious institutions, schools, and social organizations that contributed to the city's multicultural character. Over time, Chicago became one of the most ethnically diverse cities in the world. Springfield, located in central Illinois, became the state capital and an important political center. It is most famously associated with Abraham Lincoln, who lived and worked there before becoming the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln's legacy is deeply tied to Illinois identity, and his life and career remain central to the state's historical narrative. Numerous historical sites in Springfield preserve his memory and attract visitors interested in American history. Throughout the 20th century, Illinois continued to expand economically and politically. Chicago solidified its position as a global city, becoming a center for finance, architecture, culture, and transportation. The city's skyline became iconic, showcasing innovations in skyscraper design and urban planning. At the same time, manufacturing spread across the state, supporting industries such as machinery, steel, chemicals, and food processing. Illinois became one of the most economically diverse states in the country, balancing agriculture in rural areas with industrial and service economies in urban centers. The state also became a center of higher education and research. Institutions such as the University of Illinois System, Northwestern University, and the University of Chicago played major roles in advancing knowledge across multiple fields. The University of Chicago became globally renowned for its contributions to economics and social sciences, while the University of Illinois excelled in engineering, agriculture, and computer science. These institutions helped establish Illinois as a leader in innovation and intellectual development. Culturally, Illinois has had a profound influence on American music, art, and entertainment. Chicago in particular became a birthplace of blues and a major center for jazz, gospel, and later house music. These genres emerged from the city's African American communities and immigrant populations, blending cultural traditions into new artistic forms that spread globally. The city also became known for theater, comedy, and architecture, with institutions such as improvisational comedy groups helping shape modern American entertainment. Sports also play an important role in Illinois culture. Chicago is home to several iconic professional teams, including baseball, basketball, football, and hockey franchises. These teams are deeply embedded in local identity and have generations of loyal supporters. Sporting events serve as cultural gatherings that reflect community pride and regional identity across the state. As Illinois entered the modern era, its economy began shifting from heavy industry toward services, technology, healthcare, and finance. Chicago remains a major financial center, with global trading exchanges and corporate headquarters playing a key role in international markets. Meanwhile, suburban regions around the city have grown significantly, becoming centers for business, education, and residential development. This suburban expansion reflects broader national trends of urban decentralization. Agriculture remains a cornerstone of Illinois' economy, particularly in central and southern regions. The state is one of the leading producers of corn and soybeans in the United States. Modern farming techniques, including advanced machinery, satellite mapping, and biotechnology, have increased productivity while reducing the need for large agricultural labor forces. However, these changes have also contributed to population decline in some rural communities, where younger generations often move to cities in search of opportunities. Energy production is another important aspect of Illinois' modern economy. The state is a major producer of nuclear energy, which supplies a significant portion of its electricity. Wind energy has also expanded, particularly in open rural areas where conditions are favorable. These developments reflect broader efforts to transition toward more sustainable and diversified energy systems. Environmental concerns have become increasingly important in recent decades. Illinois faces challenges related to flooding, soil erosion, water pollution, and climate variability. River systems such as the Mississippi and Illinois rivers require ongoing management to balance transportation needs with ecological protection. Urban areas like Chicago also face infrastructure challenges related to stormwater management and aging systems. Conservation efforts aim to preserve remaining natural habitats, including prairie remnants, wetlands, and forested areas. Demographically, Illinois is one of the most diverse states in the country. Chicago and its suburbs are home to communities from around the world, including large populations of Hispanic, African American, Asian, Middle Eastern, and European descent. This diversity is reflected in language, food, religion, and cultural traditions, making Illinois a microcosm of global society. At the same time, the state faces demographic shifts such as rural population decline and urban concentration, which create uneven development patterns. Politically, Illinois is a state of contrasts. Urban areas, particularly Chicago, tend to lean politically liberal, while many rural regions lean more conservative. This divide reflects differences in economic structure, population density, and cultural outlook. Despite these differences, Illinois remains a major player in national politics due to its large population and electoral significance. Infrastructure development continues to shape the state's future. Investments in transportation, public transit, renewable energy, and digital infrastructure aim to modernize Illinois' economy and improve quality of life. Chicago's transit system, including its elevated rail network known as the L, remains a vital part of daily life for millions of residents and a symbol of urban identity. Today, Illinois stands as a state defined by connectivity in every sense. Geographically, it connects major river systems and the Great Lakes. Economically, it connects agriculture, industry, finance, and technology. Culturally, it connects diverse populations into a shared social landscape. Historically, it connects indigenous civilizations, European exploration, and modern American development into one continuous narrative. From ancient mound-building societies to modern skyscrapers, from prairie grasslands to global financial markets, Illinois represents a layered and evolving story of human settlement and adaptation. Its identity is not defined by a single feature but by the interaction of geography, history, and human activity over time. As it continues to evolve, Illinois remains a central thread in the broader fabric of the United States, linking past and present, rural and urban life, and local and global systems into one ongoing story. Thank you for watching this video.